Oh, I don't have an LD.
I got one.
BRB.
We are here live.
What's up? No, we're not live.
Well, we're live right now.
Oh, we are. Yeah.
At the episode.
What's up?
Yeah. Hey everybody. Thanks for tuning in again this week. As you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, that it's almost back to the beginning days here.
Yeah. Feels like 2020.
We are in different locations for this episode just for safety purposes. But we are continuing on. We're powering through, pushing through. So Mark, Funky Moose Records, what the heck is new this week?
Well, not so much product wise, although we have a boatload of used records added to the site, which makes me excited.
Yeah.
I could grab a few, but I don't know if they're sold or not. So it's if I show them, they might be gone already. So that's, I guess, the most interesting thing at this point.
So are those the used records that were added to the site? Is that like a new bunch, or is that one that you've had that you just haven't added in some time?
That's on a continuous basis. We add used records, and Jeremy added, well, I'm gonna guess about, they're around the corner here. They're about gonna say 100 records.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I know that that's an ongoing thing for those of you at home. Also, I swear Mark's basement there's probably 5,000 records down there.
Yeah, maybe. I haven't counted them, but actually since the last time you were here, we thinned it out quite a bit because quite a bit sold over the last week.
Nice.
So yeah, and I'm looking at I'm still looking at the Northern Royals EP.
Right on. Limited edition.
Yep.
For this batch.
So if people are still interested in Northern Royals record, they are still for sale.
That's right. Go to funkymooserecords.ca and snag a copy of that. Spoiler alert, they might be at Moose Fest. Might be. Might be. They're on that list, you guys. I can't wait to freaking see.
Maybe we're not officially announcing anything, but
I'm not holding anything back. They're coming.
Are they here to party, or are they here to play a set?
I think we're gonna do a little bit of all of the above.
A little bit of both, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this episode, we do have a special guest coming in, local talent.
Yeah, it's not just us.
Yeah. He should be jumping on here at any point, but it's funny how we tracked this guy down. His name is Stephen Williams. I'm curious actually if it's Stephen or Stefan. I don't know.
Stephen. As far as I know, it's Stephen.
Yeah, it's spelled PH. But the way we found him, very interesting. I was at a local business in Prince Albert, inspiredvaporcompany.com. And I was chatting with those boys there and found out that one of the workers, his brother, is a musician. And that's who our guest is this evening. So I happened to look him up, reach out, and he was all about it. So that's how we lined this one up. So shout out to Inspired Vapor Company for the referral. I always appreciate the shit out of you guys, and customer and now a customer.
Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't even know that that's how you booked him.
Yeah, I was in there, I was purchasing some vape and juice, and like a vape and some juice, and we were just talking about the podcast and stuff. It might have been when I brought the sign there, the Moose Fest sign, maybe, or it was maybe just before that. And then we were kind of just talking about the show and and the ads and stuff like that. And, you know, he was like, oh yeah, like he mentioned his brother. I feel like he might have something there with Joel Rohs maybe, or EA Rawlingson, or I don't know, frick, it's Prince Albert, right? But when he was talking about that, I was just like, what? And then we started kind of chatting, and I looked him up right away, and I was like, I looked him up on Instagram right away and hit him up, and I was like, yeah, you could thank your brother for that one. So that's exactly how that goes. Actually, another thing is, so if you guys are fans of the show and you hear those Inspired Vapor Company advertisements, recently there's been a song in the background playing, and that song is a song called Sin City, and that the lead singer of that band is Blaine's brother. So the owner of InspiredVaporCompany.com, his brother was in like an 80s hair or early 90s hair metal rock band, and they've got some music out there and stuff. And I think he's going to be on the show at one point in time here. So we had gotten permission from him to use the song in the ads, and he was all about it. We were like, I was like, well, considering, like, can I get something in writing in case there's like a copyright claim or whatever? And he's like, yeah, I'll be pretty surprised if somebody puts a claim out there. But dude, you can find them on like YouTube and stuff. Their videos are, if you like that 80s hair metal stuff, it's right up that alley.
And
so
it's
good.
funny. And it's funny if you know Blaine.
Yeah.
When you talk about hair metal.
Yeah. I love those guys, man. Shout out to Inspired Vapor Company. Actually, if you guys go to their website or go to the store, you can use promo Moose10 when you're doing your checkout, and you'll get 10% off on that, as I'm sure you'll see in a little bit here on the episode. But
unless you make this the ad.
Yeah, look at that, guys. There, that's the plug for this week.
Boom.
So enjoy the show.
So do you know Stephen other than the Southwest?
I feel like I should.
We met him.
Where?
No, well, did we meet him?
At Chesterfest?
Yeah. He's in Jake Vaadeland's band.
That's okay. That's where I'm thinking like Joel Rohs and stuff. I feel like.
And he's in Rohs, the band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he's on the cover of the North Sask music zine because he's Artist of the Year.
Well, there's some good topics to talk about.
Yeah.
There he is. All right. So without further ado, Mr. Stephen Williams.
Dun, dun, dun.
Got to keep clapping till his audio.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah.
There. Hey.
Hey,
my dude, I'm so sorry. That is all my bad. Mark and I are just sitting here shooting the shit the whole time. And you know, I double checked it like twice, and I didn't see that extra letter.
That's usually what it is. When you double check it, you check it twice, double.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. That happens to me so often. Actually, I should probably change my email, make it a little bit easier for people.
Third time's a charm. So the episode is recording currently, just so you know. But have you watched any shows? Are you familiar with the show at all?
Yep, I've checked out a few of them. I've seen Jake's and Forests, and so I kind of get the vibe you guys are going with. Hey guys, my name is Stephen Williams, and you're watching episode 101 of the Sit Down Podcast.
Hey guys, Muse Canada is a new arts and entertainment media connection and support network. Skip all the algorithms of social media and connect with other entertainment professionals across Canada. Sign up today for $5 a month.
Or you use promo code FunkyMoose2021 for 10% off. Yeah.
Perfect.
Welcome.
Hey.
Right on. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. As you can see, we're in different locations, and we're just doing that for safety sake for right now, just to be safe. So
yeah, because Joel has cooties.
Yeah, Joel's got COVID. No, he doesn't. Just joking. Yeah, no, we're just playing it safe. And we were talking before too how this kind of reminds us of a couple of years ago when we kind of started this show. This is sort of early episode scenario here.
Yeah.
Like when we had Paris Pick on for the first time, when we had our first guest on. This is
but Paris didn't what she called in. We had her on the phone.
That's true. That is true. I'm trying to think of other guests we did like this. Tense Machine from Toronto. We did it like this. I remember sitting here. Ali.
Anyway,
pretty much just those first episodes. But yes, we have Mr. Is it Steven or Stefan? Steven Williams with us. And I was telling Mark, full disclosure, I know that we have met in the past because you do play with like Jake Vaadeland and you play with like Joel's band. But I was at Inspired Vapor Company and I was getting some vape there, and your brother was talking about you, and I was like, oh, like you should send me his info and I'll check it out and stuff like that. And so shout out to your brother, who I'm an idiot, right? So when I had a feeling, I was like, I think I know who this is, and then just reached out to you, and we are honored to have you on the show. So the EP, I want to talk a little bit about that for sure, because that's relatively new. Like today is January 18th, but the release was, correct me on this one or help me out, it was a few weeks ago, right?
My album came out, I think it was I think it was November 17th or something.
I'm way off base then.
Yeah.
No. Right on. And then so how is everything going since that release? Like, because it is a solo project, right? I want to say it's the first album.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
It's pretty cool. I've always been that guy who, I'm always kind of in the background. I play bass for this band, or I play electric guitar for this band, and I always have the opportunity to play with so many cool musicians and everything. But I don't know, I've always had a lot of these original songs just like to myself. And Joel, he's been kicking my ass to try and get my songs out there. And so finally just one day I said, fuck it, and just went with it. Yeah, here it is.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Joel. Thank you, Joel, for giving that push out there.
Joel seems to do that to other artists. Because
and not himself, eh?
And not himself, yeah. Because I remember he did the same thing with Kaylee Skomorowski. He was like, "You have all these songs. Let's just record a song or an album, and let's do this." So that's kind of the same how you and him work together.
Totally, yeah. And like Joel's actually like big props to him, because he's definitely one of the guys who's like behind a big majority of the music scene in Prince Albert. I would say so anyways, like he's like you say, he like pushes people to make music, and he helps, like, he does Chester Fest, and he's just like all over the place. So it's pretty sweet for sure.
And he's doing the sound for Moose Fest in last year and this coming year. So
yeah, he's our sound guy.
Sweet. Yeah, I haven't checked out Moose Fest yet, but I've heard lots and lots of good things about it. So I definitely want to be there.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it's definitely, we're working on spreading that word for sure. Last year was our first one, so we've only had one of them, but the work's in progress for
August 6th.
Yeah, for next year. We've got the venue, the locations booked, the stage is booked, the sound is booked, the band, or 80% of the bands are booked. Yeah, it's going to be top notch for sure.
Sweet.
Heck yeah. So let's get into, I want to know the differences of recording with other musicians, the difference from doing that and like putting out your own stuff. Like, do you find a lot more pressure going into it? I would assume so, but.
Well, I mean, like originally when we did the first song, it was like, because it was like a brand new thing for me, right? So like I was like, this is like, I didn't know what to expect, and I was like a little hesitant of it. But like the more and more we got into it, I actually kind of shifted around, and I found I was more comfortable with it just because I've had a lot of these songs for like 5 or 6 years, and it's like my own stuff. So it's like there's no right or wrong answer to it. If I want to do this to it, I can do this. If I so it's just like a really comfortable, homey kind of feeling, I found.
Right. And it's not like you're new to the studio neither. So I'm sure like there's no butterflies going in there that way, right? In that regard?
For sure. Yeah.
So what I'm intrigued by is what you have in the background. You have Blink 182 and No Effects behind you, but
oh, yeah.
The music you make is nowhere near that.
Yeah, like I've always been inspired by like all kinds of music. Like, I like country and rap and hip hop and metal and bluegrass, and punk rock is a big one for sure. I actually caught my musical inspiration actually comes from when I was younger with my older brother. We used to hang around in the basement and play like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and like the soundtrack on that was a lot of like punk and hip hop, and so like that's where a lot of it comes from, I think, for sure.
Gotcha.
Deadly.
Yeah.
Deadly. And then, so how old were you when you first picked up? Is bass like your main go-to instrument?
Well, I started off with guitar, and I would still say it is guitar, but I find myself like with Jake, I play a lot of upright, and I play quite a bit of bass as well too. So I find there's a lot more gigs out there for bass players than there is guitar players. Like a lot of people need a bass player more than they need a guitar player most of the time. So
yeah,
really,
for sure.
Huh.
Well, because everybody wants to shred, right?
Yeah, totally.
I guess so.
Yeah. So I know that, speaking of Jake, he's performing at the award show virtually on the 20th or 21st or something. Are you you'll be joining him for that?
Yeah, I think as far as I know, that's all pre-recorded stuff, I think. And so I believe that's what we did the other weekend. Like we were shooting some sort of video.
Oh, heck yeah. Right on. Right on. I'll definitely be tuning into that one. That's going to be a good show. I've been bugging. Go ahead, Mark.
Are you saying that because you're not actually sure what the video is for, or you can't tell?
Well, I think it was for a Sask music thing, so that would make a lot of sense to me. But like a lot of the time, I just like do the thing. Someone's like, "Hey, do this and this," and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm like, "Okay, yeah, that sounds good." And then like, I don't really know often, but yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you had the opportunity to play like your own music, like around the city or throughout Saskatchewan at all?
Yeah, because it's so new, it's not a crazy amount, but actually, like the week of the release, I had the opportunity to open for Zachary Lucky. He's like a country artist from Saskatoon. I think he lives in Toronto now, I believe. But yeah, he was at the Rawlinson Center, and so I got to do a quick 30-minute set there. And then just last weekend, I was at the Rock Trout with my band, and we did a full-on like our show Southwest kind of thing. That was pretty fun. It was like the coldest day of the year, and we still packed the place, so it was definitely a lot of fun.
Frickin' rights. Yeah, crazy times. Because oh, sorry, Mark, go ahead.
Your bandmates, are they the same? Is that like a hodgepodge of members from other bands that you're in, or is that a completely different set of people?
No, it's Joel plays electric guitar. I got I don't know, you probably know Jordy Balicki. He plays Nord, he plays some nice keys and organ and stuff. And I got Ian Dixon on drums, and then I got Kirk Pelon. He also plays a lot with Joel, and he actually plays in Rohs with me as well too, and Joel. And he plays the bass too. So yeah, very, very similar lineup to a lot of other bands, but slightly different, I suppose.
But then again, PA is a pretty small music scene, so there are only so many musicians to pick from, right?
Nice. So where did you learn how to play the guitar? Like, were you self-taught, or did you take lessons? And how old were you when you began?
I think I got my first guitar when I was 12, and it was an acoustic. And for the most part, I was self-taught at the beginning. Like I just like pick up my guitar and I, like Smoke on the Water and all, like the classics like that. And like just like tablature and YouTube videos and how to and stuff for the first couple of years. I tried taking lessons for a couple of years from a couple of different teachers, and I took things from this guy and a little bit from this guy, but it was mostly just like, self-taught and just like go with it. And yeah.
Nice. Did you ever take lessons from Byron Matisse?
Matisse.
No, I didn't, but he's actually a really good family friend. Like he plays music with my Uncle Craig, who is a drummer, and he actually helped pick out my first guitar for me too. So
right on.
Huh.
Yeah, Byron's, he's wicked, man. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's a good guy for sure. I want to get Byron on the show here sometime.
Well, we have him planned, just we don't have a date because you and I still need to go for coffee with him.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut that clip out and send it to him. We're waiting for that coffee date, Byron.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So what do you got going on these days now? I mean, if the record came out in November, what have you been up to?
Playing music, doing the backup thing right now quite a bit. Like in PA, they've got the Winter Festival going, and that's like coming in hot right away here too. So I'm looking at Voices of the North and the Rock Show Experience this year, and we just finished doing Search for the Stars and just a couple hired gun gigs here and there too. So I've got about like 90 songs I have to learn in the next 2-3 weeks. So I've kind of been buckling down doing that right now, but just anything I can take, it's music.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you have like a huge set, like you said, 90 songs to learn, does it ever happen, especially if it's not your own music or not your original music? Like, do you ever come across songs that you just like maybe not a big fan of, or that you dread, not want to play them, but you kind of have to? I'm sure that happens.
Yeah, happens, man. no,
yeah, right.
It happens quite a bit, actually. Like, like I don't know, like I do love all kinds of music, and like I take something I can appreciate from everything, but there's definitely a couple of those songs where it's just like, oh fuck this. Yeah.
This again.
This. Oh, here's that one.
Wagon wheel for that time, and yeah.
So Joel was saying that you're about to go rehearse tonight.
Are you rehearsing or recording, or there's something you got going on this evening?
Well, we were supposed to go and do a rehearsal with the Bush Pies, because that's what I'm playing with this weekend. But I don't know what happened. Plans changed and it's rescheduled. And so,
I see. Bush Pies. I feel like I've heard them before.
Yep.
Yeah. They're like a party band. They're a lot of fun. Joel plays guitar. There's John and Kirk plays in there, and Kiana plays as well too. Julie and Danny, and they just like they play a lot of cool like rock country songs. They're a lot of fun.
Right on. I wonder if our American listeners know what Bush Pies are.
I don't know.
The Dutch guy over here didn't know what they were.
No, but you know now though, right?
I do now, yeah.
I was never a big fan of like the food Bush Pies.
Yeah, no, I can do without.
So what it is for the listeners is basically over a campfire you get like it's almost like a waffle maker that you put over the fire pit, right? But you put in like it's like bread, for example. You could put some bread in there, and then you put a pie filling on the bread, and then you close it up and cook it over the fire, and that's a bush pie. Right? Did I get that right?
Or you make a grilled cheese in there. You can do that too.
Yeah, I've seen people do like pizza pop style things too, with like pepperonis and pizza sauce.
I've only had it with like pie filling. Maybe that's why I'm not a big fan. Like, ooh.
No, I've not. No, no.
Yeah,
I've done the grilled cheese thing, but no.
Yeah, not pie filling.
No. This episode of the Sit Down Podcast is brought to you by Inspired Vapor Company, which is a company that helps people stop smoking.
That's right, guys. If you're out there smoking and you're struggling, drop the darts. These guys, Blaine and Kevin Tates, who own the company, are there. They can answer any of your questions. They can help you transition from cigarettes to vaping and then to nothing. Couple of class act guys. I highly recommend you reach out to them. You can order online and have the product shipped right to you.
And they have 3 locations in Saskatchewan, one in Melfort, Prince Albert, and in Humboldt, but also online at inspiredvaporcompany.com.
That's right. So whether you're in the store or online purchases or making an online purchase, use the promo code Moose10 for 10% off, you guys.
Do you have a 9 to 5? One of those boring things that pays the bills?
Yeah. For the last couple of years, I was doing youth care work at Eagle's Nest. And I loved that job, like I love those kids and everything else. But I just found like, because of the job itself, it's like you're dealing with kids. So it's a lot of evening work, like from after school till 11. And then I also had to work nights from like 11 p.m. till 11 a.m. It just like conflicted with my music schedule so much that I went back to my old delivery job, which is more or less like a 9 to 5. It's just is a job, just,
yeah.
Keeps me busy, helps pay the mortgage, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So what are you delivering?
UPS.
Good times and good vibes. Freaking rights.
Are you originally from PA?
Yeah, I was born here, and when I was like 1 or like super young, obviously I can't remember. We moved to Alberta, Fort Saskatchewan for about 11 years of my life, but then came back here. Always, when you're in PA, it seems like you always find your way back here no matter what you do. So
yeah,
it's
like a magnet.
Yeah, exactly. So like, yeah, born and raised for the most part, I'd say.
Heck yeah. How do you feel about giving the listeners and viewers a sample or a song? Would you be comfortable with maybe giving us a taste of that record if they haven't heard it?
Yeah, I could do that. My guitar, my acoustic anyways, is upstairs. I'd have to go grab it, but I'm down for that.
Heck yeah.
Sure.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, I'll be right back.
All right, so this is a song I wrote. It's called Prairie Harmony. It's also on my debut album. It's the first song on there. I wrote it, I want to say about 4 years ago. I was living in a lousy apartment and going through some tough times, and I always found that when I was feeling those rough emotions, that music was my best therapy. It still is, but that's when I decided to write this song. I remember I was having a pretty bad day and picked up my guitar, and this was the outcome of it. So yeah, I was always, when I first started playing guitar, I was always inspired by, like Eddie Van Halen and the shredder style of music. And so I was always, when I was younger, trying to do the whole kind of thing. And once I realized I wasn't good enough to continue to try doing that, I stopped and focused more on the style I play now. But still always inspired by it, so I try to incorporate it one way or another to some degree. So yeah, here's Prairie Harmony. It goes like this.
is it one of those songs that you have in the back of your head and then you have to piece in an album together and you're like, what am I going to put on here? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I got this song.
Well, I've always liked the idea of having like an instrumental on an album. I don't know if it was necessarily that one that I had in mind when I did it, but yeah, I don't know. I never really like had that song in the back of my mind saying, "Oh, I want to get that on an album" or anything. But I've always liked it, and like when it came down to the album, like we were just like finishing it up, I was like, "Oh, well, I'd like to include an instrumental," and so like that was the first one that came to my mind. So.
Right. Oh, yeah, for sure. That made me think too. So when you're playing it, or I guess when you're writing that instrumental as well, are there lyrics going on in your head too? Or is it just like the notes of the guitar that are like the lyrics? You know what I mean? Like not spiritually, but like musically, I guess. How does that go?
I don't know. I don't really have lyrics that go into my mind very often. I mean, like I definitely like to write, you know, like I'll sit down and just like write like poetry or whatever you want to call it. But like when it comes to writing music per se, I like to think of it as more of a rhythmic and melodic thing before anything else. So like even like with this alone, like it's not like I have lyrics that I think would flow with it at all, right? Like that's why I like different melodies on the song that are like that's what I hear before anything else. So
yeah, it does 100%, man. I that answers my question in full.
So is that and how about the other songs with lyrics? Do you write the lyrics first and then the song or the music, or?
I find it varies. I find the songs that I end up liking more at the end, I have the chord progression and the melody and everything else beforehand, and then I go and write the words to it afterwards. But sometimes I will have the lyrics first and I'll try and write a thing to it. And sometimes I find it happens kind of naturally, but other times it seems like it's almost kind of forced, and I don't know. So I guess melody first before anything is usually the way I like to go about doing things.
And how did you go about the order of the songs on the album? Because Joel and I had this discussion with other musicians, and we're always curious to see, you know, how artists go about like, okay, this, because this was the opening track to the album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you decide, okay, I'm going to start with something instrumental, and then from there I'll decide the rest?
I think it varies a lot of the time, but like for this specific situation, I found that the way I thought that I ordered the album anyways, it like kind of like built up as it went. Like that first one, it's just guitar, right? And then from there, the next song, it's still pretty tame. There's like a snare drum. I don't even think there's any kick or anything on it. And my acoustic and a bass and my vocal. The next one, I have my girlfriend singing harmonies on it, and there's like some more layered instruments. And then by the end of the album, I like to think of it as like a bigger production. Like there's like so it's like kind of like a staircase going up, right? Like so it's like by the end there's like a ripping guitar solo and an organ solo and shit like that. So it's like I don't know. I just thought like it kind of like just built up anticipation kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Did everyone like? So where did you learn how to, I guess, write a song, like, and piece it all together? Is it just experience, like as a musician, like you're 12 years old, you pick up a guitar, start teaching yourself how to play, take a few lessons here and there, but you're also like writing poetry, and then it's like fusing those two arts together? Or did somebody like sit you down, you know what I mean, and then be like, this is what you need, this is how you piece together a song, and then actually teach you how to do it?
Yeah, I've never had anything like that specifically. I guess even before I had a guitar, I'd like this, it's kind of stupid, but like when I was like super young, like just learning to write and like actually like physically write and shit like that, I'd take songs that I really loved and I'd like take the melody of those and I'd just like change up and like write my own lyrics to it so I could sing along to something kind of a thing, but like my own thing. Like before I even knew how to write chord patterns or melodies or anything like that, that was like kind of what I did. And yeah, and then I don't know, I've always been super intrigued into just like doing my own thing. Because I think it's cool that you can go about covering somebody else's work and like, you know, like paying homage to them, I suppose you could say. But even when I learn something and I'm covering it, I find that I'm still doing my own way, my own interpretation of everything, right? Like I don't like to do something note for note. So I don't know. I guess I've always just been interested in just making it my own, you know?
Right. I think that right there is like the definition of talent. Like just being able to do that, for it becoming like second nature, you know, is kind of is what it sounds like to me anyway.
Sweet.
Mark, it looks like you're thinking pretty hard
No,
there.
I am, because I had a question, but I don't know how to word it, and I don't know which song it is. So on this album, you have a song, and I was listening to it while I was working, so I only got half of it, but it sounds like you're singing about a girl. I can't remember her name.
Are you talking about Crystal?
Yes, Crystal.
Yeah.
That's not your girlfriend.
No, it's not. No, and it's not about a girl either. It's a lot.
Okay.
I always joke around. It's like, you know, a lot of my songs, they sound like I'm always singing about a girl, but almost none of them are about a woman ever. Like, you know, reality sounds like I'm talking about a breakup, and it's actually about my anxiety and depression. And then like it just like goes on and on. Like there's a bunch of different examples like that. Gone Like the Wind is like my drug addiction and alcohol addiction. And Crystal kind of stems from that as well too, because it's about like crystal meth and like, you know, the effect that it has on our city. And you know, just like my family's dealt with addiction for a long time too, so it's a pretty personal song in that degree.
Right.
Because and that's what I was saying. That's what I was thinking. It sounds like you said, like a personal song, but I already had this suspicion that this is not about an ex-girlfriend or something. Okay. Yeah. Now it makes sense.
Dude, man, I seriously, I applaud you on your sobriety. Like 100%, man. I well aware of that lifestyle. I am also a recovering addict, and I'm going on like 10, like I've got some clean time under my belt. Let's just say that. So I commend you, man. Keep it going one day at a time. And dude, you just know that you've got a friend in me, man. If you ever need just to fucking shoot the shit or whatever, like you can reach out anytime, day or night, buddy. 100%.
I appreciate that. Likewise, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah. Right on. What's something, what can you tell our, okay, let me try and think of, I guess, let me try and put a little bit of serious thought into this, into a question here. We have done this in the past where, okay, if there's, would you have, Jesus, I can't think straight.
Okay, how about you think about that for a bit? And I'm going to ask about Justin Ballantyne.
Yeah.
Who's that?
That's my older brother, Justin.
Okay.
He's the guy singing that track as well too. I'm just putting my guitar down here. That's my older brother I was talking about earlier as well too. He like we hang around in the basement and play like Tony Hawk, and like he taught me my first guitar thing way back in the day. Like before I could even hold the thing, I was like laying it on my lap and water and stuff. So he's a huge inspiration to my life for sure.
Gotcha.
Heck yeah. I was trying to think of a way to word this, Mark. Maybe you can shed some light if it sounds funny, but essentially, like you're definitely an active musician. You've got multiple projects on the go, right? Now, for somebody who's, I guess, up and coming musician, or looking at where to begin, or fighting anxiety and stuff, what kind of message or words would you have for maybe a listener out there or a viewer who's not particularly suffering from these types of things, but like going through that, and any advice that you could give them to maybe, you know, give them a push like Joel did for you or something, you know what I mean?
Totally. Music is the best kind of therapy, 100%. And just like always turn to the music, you know, if you're feeling shitty, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling like today, just, you know, that's exactly what I do. Just turn to the music all the time, whether it's you want to take out your anger and you want to fucking crank up your distortion and just like rip something on the guitar, or you want to write some lyrics, or you just want to listen to a song that makes you feel better. Music is the best thing in the world, and it will never screw you over. It's the only thing in life that's possible of not screwing you over, actually. So always turn to music.
Right on.
Cool.
I like that.
Even though I'm not a musician, that's my day. My day with music in it is always better than a day without music.
Right. And you're absolutely right. No matter what type of mood that you're in, there's going to be
there's a song
style
for that.
There's a song for that style
Yep.
of music, no matter what you're going through.
Yep.
You can definitely find it, and it'll make its way to your ears 100%. I'm curious. I mentioned to you earlier about, like, through text, about closing the episode with a song, maybe. And you said something about maybe a pre-recorded video. Is that still on the table? Maybe.
Yeah, I can send you something for sure. There's a new song that I really like, and I've played it with my band as well too, and I think it sounds pretty sweet. And it's like, you know, not that I'm already over the album, but like I've heard it so much already now, you know. And so like if there's something new that I can do, then I'm gonna like turn to that for sure. Yeah.
Well, dude, it'd be our honor if you would allow us to close the show with that. That'd be great. I freaking loved the album. I listened to it twice today.
Sweet.
And that's how I do my prep, hey, for the show. I basically wait till the day of, and then I did listen to a couple of the tracks, I think 3 or 4 of them at the last time we kind of spoke, and I seriously didn't put it back on until today. And I just let it play, man. And I just, you know, I wouldn't say grooving's not the right word for it, but I enjoyed it 100%. It is what I needed today. You know, I was home by myself, just kind of, you know, cleaning up the house and stuff like that, had it playing, and it just kind of got those wheels turning. You know, I think one that not hit me the most, but probably one of my favorite ones was He's All Right. I really enjoyed that one. If I had to pick one off of the album, I think I liked it. I liked what it was saying, what it was about, how just the message, I guess, that you were putting out there with that song. I can relate to it, man. And I loved it. Just, you know, the dad not liking the tattoos, and then, you know, the religion aspect of it and stuff like that. I went through that same stuff. So it was very relatable for me. And yeah, if I had to pick one, that would have been it. I highly recommend you guys go check it out and listen to that.
Yeah, for sure. I had it like I said, playing while working, so I didn't really pay attention to the lyrics, but it's also good for background music. Even if you're, you know, not sitting down to listen to all the lyrics, it's still enjoyable to have in the background.
I definitely did get that like country boy Saskatchewan vibe off of it, though. 100%. 100%. I don't know. I mean that in like the most sincere, genuine, loving way too. I don't want you to, I hope I didn't like offend or anything that way, but it's just what it made me feel and reminded me of, right? Of living in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, it's cool because like there's some, like, everybody always has their own interpretation of everything, and that's what I've always said music is, like, especially mine too. It's like always open to interpretation, right? Like I don't really know exactly what I personally see in it. I definitely can see like stems of country and stems of folk and whatever, but that's interesting. I've heard people say Leonard Cohen, and I've heard people say Core Blund and plugged in Bob Dylan, and so, and like country for sure as well too. So I mean, like, yeah, it's always cool to hear that someone else's interpretation on it. So that's sweet.
I'm always scared to tell musicians my thoughts and feelings on it, because it might be like so far-fetched or way off base of what the intent is. Yeah. I don't ever want to offend, but I'm just being honest, man. Like, that's what it meant to me, you know?
Yeah. And then the artist goes like, oh, I got to take that off the album now because Joel doesn't like it.
Yeah. Or they never talk to us again.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay, so what did you say you got? The winter festivals up and coming here around the corner. What else you got coming up? The Sask Music, we can see you play on there.
Yeah, I've got that coming up, and I know like my band, like the Southwest band, I don't think we have a date solidified quite yet, but it's coming up this month too. We're going to be doing the SaskTel Max on air thing. That's like the on demand, you like find the band and stuff. We'll be on there for the next within the next month or so, I believe too. So that's coming up as well too.
Oh, hell yeah. So you guys keep an eye out for that. Unfortunately, I don't get SaskTel on demand out here in little old Bellevue, Saskatchewan. Yeah. But I have my means though. I will find it. I promise you I will watch it. And I'm chances are I'm going to enjoy the shit out of it too.
So where can people find you? Because I had Joel sent me the Spotify link this afternoon, but I had a tough time finding it on Tidal. Is it only on Spotify, or how did you?
It's tough. I found it's tough as well too. Maybe I shouldn't have created that pretentious alias Southwest. It's like I don't know. It's like there's a lot of things I find that are Southwest, and so like the way I found was the easiest was to type it, make sure it's like spaced Southwest, and then type one of the names of the songs if you know any of them, and then it will bring you to the album. But yeah, it's like it's on all streaming services. It's on Spotify and Apple and YouTube and all that cool stuff. So
cool. Right, yeah, I found a few rappers by the name of Southwest.
Yeah,
we will be sure to have the links to those in the description of this video. But are there like albums available? How do I buy a record if I want one?
Yeah, we went and pressed. I don't even remember how much it was now, but we've got CDs for sure. Yeah, I'm not much of a CD listener myself. Not many people are these days, but like if you actually want something physical, there's a cool little write-up in the booklet and like a personal touch to it and stuff. If you want that, you can get a hold of me. I'm in Prince Albert. I can ship things out as well too if need be. So yeah.
Right on. Do you deal with like Bandcamp or any of that stuff too?
No, I thought about it. Bandcamp's cool and I love Bandcamp, but I haven't signed up with that as myself anyways. So.
Right. And then did you say you've got some pressed on vinyl or no?
No, that'd be sick because I love vinyl, but no, I don't got anything pressed on.
Right. What kind of record player do you have?
The one down here is just one of those 3-in-1, like the little box that's got the cool rustic looking thing. It's like got the Bluetooth and everything else. But upstairs I've got a nice one. I can't remember what it's called, but I have it hooked up to my sound system and everything too. So
Dude, since we started this, like I got like behind me, none of these aren't albums. These are all movies, dude. Like I'm an avid movie collector, right? And in the last couple of years that we've been doing this, man, I've got a nice little hefty collection of vinyl and I still don't have a record player. It's like the ongoing joke. I've got all these records that have never seen a needle. You know what I mean? But Mark's been trying to push a player on me for quite some time. I should probably get on that. I'm scared too, though, honestly, because as an addict, right? Like it's go big or go home kind of thing. And dude, I've got thousands of dollars pumped into movies and a theater system and everything. And I'm scared that if I start that transition into vinyl, it's going to be fucking unbelievable.
That's kind of what happened with me too, man. Like I needed to fuel that addiction one way or another. And so I fucking started turning to that and just like, like I'm starting to like over like the last year, I've probably bought like 300 some records or something. Like that, so.
Oh man, there's so much freaking awesome music out there, man. I'm listening to so much stuff that 3 years ago, I wouldn't even looked at, I would have never turned my head to it. And Jake Vaadeland, perfect example of that. I'm a huge fan, man. I love that kid. I love what he's doing, how you guys sound. You guys you're definitely onto something with that. 100%.
Yeah, man. I'm super blessed to be able to play with that kid, man. He's something else, eh? Like when I first met him, I thought the whole thing was kind of like a shtick, but like once like, and I'm sure you know now too, but like once you get to know him, it's like, nope, that's Jake.
That's legit. It's almost like talking to him, it's, I guess if you don't know him, it can seem like awkwardly a little bit, right? Because he is a retro man. Like it's just, there's no bullshit there. That's legitimately how it is. But I love him to death, man. And I love the music. I've got all the respect in the world for him. And he has my support 100%, no matter what. As do you. You are legitimately, like, this was the stamp, like you're part of the Funky Moose family. Anything you need, please you can ask us if we can help you. We will, man. 100% for life.
Cool. Sweet, man.
I want you to know that. Also, do you have a few more minutes or do you got to go?
No, I'm good to go. That cancel or that gig or that practice got canceled. So
Right.
Are you talking about
Yes.
the cancellations everywhere, left and right?
Well, yeah, just like how fucking much longer is this bullshit gonna go on?
I'm done with it. Fuck it.
But put yourself in like a musician's shoes though, Mark. Like if that's
Yeah.
your, like, how is that justifiable? Like how the frick are you supposed to do anything? I don't like it doesn't make sense.
YouTube Live, man. Yeah. Live streams are like something too. I've done a couple of those too. It's not the same. I've said in like somebody asked me before in a different interview before too. They're like, so like, what do you do when a gig gets canceled and everything like that? And it's like, you can turn to writing songs and working on your craft and recording or whatever else too, but it's like, you also need the live music aspect to it as well too.
Yeah.
Right. That is a big chunk of where if you're looking at it from a financial point, like that's where you're going to make your money really is the live event. You're not going to make it from Facebook Live or YouTube Live or any of that shit. Yeah. You might make a couple bucks here and there on like drawing some people in to purchase merchandise or the album and stuff, but
yeah,
it's not ticket sales. It's not the same.
Totally.
Hey, what's that album behind No Effects that you have behind you?
Kings of Leon, Come Around Sundown.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I recognize the cover, but I couldn't place it. Okay.
I love Kings of Leon. They're great. I like their older stuff more, but I also do kind of like the newer stuff as well too.
Yeah.
But what's your number one? What's your favorite? I know you're like non-biased and like you got a pretty big spectrum there, but if you had to narrow it down to your top three, who would those artists be?
Top three. It always changes, man. I don't know. I don't listen to them as much anymore, but I have a lot of appreciation for bands like Aerosmith and Kiss, because Aerosmith, even to this day, like I have Toys in the Attic there as well too. That's still one of my top albums, just because Joe Perry's like riffs are just like nonstop energy. I find Steven Tyler's tunes are pretty badass, and it's just like a high energy album. And Kiss, like I don't listen to them all that much anymore because I think they're kind of goofy sometimes. But at the same time, I think I was listening to a lot of weird like Good Charlotte and like that pop punk early 2000s stuff when I was younger, and I found Kiss Destroyer, and it just like opened up everything else for me. So I guess they would always be there as well too. Like I don't really listen to them anymore, like I said. Right. And probably Blink-182 as well too, just because it's like I said, like I was listening to I was playing a lot of Tony Hawk, and so there's a lot of that skate punk, pop punk kind of stuff, and Tom's like super simple, catchy riffs is like one of my biggest inspirations for guitar too. So
hell yeah.
Yeah. But it's like I guess I wouldn't pin it down to those. It's always changing, and I don't know.
Right. Well, like you said too, you made a very good valid point earlier about like it doesn't matter what kind of mood or feeling that you're having, there's going to be something out there, right? So you could have maybe a funky month and you're just into a particular artist, so at that time that's like your number one, but the next month your mood can change, as does your number one pick, right? So I get it, man. I get it. Mark, what would you say your top, if you had to go? I know your number one's Queen. Mark's an avid Queen fan. So okay, what as of today, what would you say is your 2 and 3?
Good question. It depends literally.
He's
on
like, it's only bit. Queen. It's only Queen.
Yeah, I don't have a 2 and 3. Yeah. No, but I mean, on the way back from PA yesterday, I had a Muse related artists playlist going. So
like Muse Canada?
Not quite. No, Muse like the band Muse.
Oh, okay.
And there was Queens of the Stone Age was in there. Foo Fighters was in there. Foo Fighters probably number 2 for me. Pearl Jam, although that was not in that playlist, but I see the poster.
Right. You know what? I'm not a big Pearl Jam, I had the album 10 growing up, and I love, like, it's an awesome album. It's great. But I'm like, outside of that, I don't know, man. I can't get into it. I don't get it.
For me, it's a lot of hit and miss. The hits are very good, but the other songs that are not hits are like, they're all right.
Did you like what is it, Do the Evolution? You remember that one?
No.
Right? And that was a hit. I wasn't too keen on that one
Yeah,
either.
I guess, yeah. But their newer stuff is kind of weird. But it's like that latest album that they put out.
It was kind of like electronic dancey almost to some
yeah.
degree. Yeah. I don't know if I liked it or if I hated it, man. But it was like
well, so here's the thing. I was expecting Pearl Jam, and then this shows up, and it's like, what? This I recognize Eddie Vedder, but this is not Pearl Jam. Yeah. But then after listening to it a few times, it's like, okay, let's put aside that it's not the Pearl Jam that I was expecting. This is actually kind of catchy and pretty decent.
Yeah, it's always tough. It's like, especially like when a band always changes and does things differently every album, of course. Yeah. But like to make a huge jump like that, it's always, especially for like avid listeners, it's like what the hell is this? Yeah. It's like it's such a hard thing to, like, as like a big lover of that band, to like adapt to.
Yeah, but sure. Eddie Vedder and his age has been doing a lot of different stuff. Like his Eddie Vedder on Ukulele album was just so out there that I listened to it twice and I was like, yeah, no, I can't handle this.
See, and that's how like detached from Pearl Jam I am. Is I had no clue that there was like Eddie Vedder on ukulele.
Yeah,
I would have never known that.
But that sounds interesting, regardless.
Right? I didn't think of like Tiny Tim or something.
Yeah, but I think Foo Fighters would be number 2.
Cool. Yeah.
Interesting.
And you, Joel?
Dude, I think my number 1 right now is probably the Hour Hand. I think I've been listening to a lot of Hour Hand in the last maybe 6 weeks.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that. Artist of the Year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Joel.
No,
Joel.
Steven.
Joel was. Did you got Artist of the Year for that?
Yeah, he's on the. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it right now. We're still recording, dude. Congratulations. Fuck, I didn't even know.
Yeah, man. I don't even believe it sometimes, but it's an honor though. Scott's a great dude, and all the guys at North Sask Music Scene are awesome, and they've supported me and local music for forever now, like as long as they've been a thing, and they're awesome. So it's a pretty big honor to be included in that for sure.
Oh hell yeah! Now I feel bad. Scott's gonna be watching this, and he's gonna be like, "You didn't even read it. You don't even know." I saw the 7 Mile Sun made the headline. It was it the best rock group of the year or something? I'm gonna have to go look at the article and who won what categories.
Yeah, I think the Garys won best album of the year with Get to the Nunnery. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
And Joel did. What was Joel's award? It had to do with like
promoting or something, right?
Yeah. Well deserved, of course. Yeah. There's some cool awards on there for sure.
Yeah, those guys they're awesome. What they got going on and what they're doing, first class, man.
Yeah, man. It's funny actually. Like I just found out about this just recently, but Scott posted about it a couple months ago that North Sask Music Scene, it started off as like a satirical kind of article, like Hard Times or the Beaverton and shit like that. And like the reason it started too is because there was this backyard show that got shut down from the cops that just like right in the midst of COVID. And my band was the band that was playing during that time too. I didn't realize that was the beginning of the music zine, but I think that's pretty fucking cool.
Oh hell yeah, dude. I love it.
Nice. Yeah. Maybe that's why he made you Artist of the Year.
Because you're like the godfather of the magazine. Right on.
Cool. Okay, I'm gonna head out.
For sure. So I think with that, we're gonna close the episode with your video. And thanks you guys for tuning in again this week. I'm looking forward to watching that on. I hope actually to see you at the Winter Festival. I'll see what I can scrounge up there and get out there. It's not
Thanks
like
for
it's
hanging
far.
out with us. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks guys. I appreciate this. It's awesome.
Right on.
Stops, I told you